everybody. Hi to all Gunners fans around the world. Hi to every football enthusiast all around the world. We are super excited today. Of course, yesterday, Arsenal won Portsmouth at Fratton Park. It's been such a long time I called that stadium Fratton Park. Portsmouth used to be such an ever-present in the EPL back in the day. They have been away for so long. When I heard that name, Fratton Park, of course, that's a Portsmouth stadium, I was like, I was very nostalgic. So we went there, and of course, we won 4 goals to 1. And we are going to be talking about the man that made the headlines, and that is Gabriel Martinelli. We are also happy. If you're a Nigerian, you have to be happy because we are coasting in the African Cup of Nations. Of course, we won one of the tournament favorites in Algeria. We won them 2-0, a very, very convincing win. So yes, I'm doubly happy. I'm super happy. I can only apologize that I didn't record immediately after the Arsenal game. I had so much to do. There was just no way. I didn't want to do a rush job, so I decided to take my time and address that game today. But today we're not really addressing that game. We're just going to be talking about our star boy on the left side, and that's Gabriel Martinelli, whom of course scored a hat-trick. Before I go any further, I'd like to please, appeal to people to please like, subscribe, share these videos. We go through a lot to present this to you. The least you can do is give us 2 seconds of your time to just like and subscribe. Now, without wasting your time any further, we would like to talk about the game. So this game was one of those tricky games, and before the game, we Arsenal fans we weren't sure if our coach Mikel Arteta was going to rotate heavily or rotate mildly. But of course, we made 10 changes. We made 10 changes in this team, and it was a wholesale lineup. We changed almost everybody. We changed almost everybody, and when I saw the lineup, I was a bit worried because we were very light in the midfield area. We had no tackler, we had no ball winner, we had no natural number 6 there. Merino was the only one that fits that profile, that is the nearest to that profile. And I was worried, and of course we know he's not combative. We know he's not a tackler. We know that about him. So I was quite worried. Now, another thing about this game was, before this game, Gabriel Martinelli faced a lot of backlash over the Conor Bradley issue that happened last week when we played Liverpool. In my last post, I condemned what he did. I didn't think, even if he wasn't very injured, I didn't think he should act that way. And the funny thing is, Gabriel Martinelli is not that kind of guy. I've never seen him behaving like that. I've never seen him with that kind of passion, so it was very surprising to me when he acted that way. So, of course, he was in the lineup. He played as a left winger. Gabriel Jesus started up front as our striker. Madueke started on the right. Ethan Waneri started as a 10. Eze started as an 8. Eze started as an 8, and Merino started as our 6. Now, the defense, there was changes too. Ben White came in for Urin Timber. Norgard was deployed in at the number 5 position, and the number 4 position was um, um, Gabriel Gabriel Megalis, whom is the only one that kept his place from the last game we played. And of course, in the left side was Miles Lewis Kelly, and of course, Kepa Azirabaga came in as the goalkeeper. So it was a wholesale change. We changed almost every department. We changed everybody. So I got even more worried when we went a goal down in the 3rd minute. Um, I was very, very worried about that. I was like, how is this team going to respond? And we responded very well from an easy cross that caused a lot of problems for Portsmouth. Eventually, it was an own goal. I still thought it was a Norgard goal because I thought Norgard's last touch of the ball crossed the line before the defender pushed it, made sure, but it was given as an own goal, so that's fine. The second goal came from a Noni Madueke's cross. Martinelli headed it in. That was the second goal. The third goal, a beautiful, beautiful across the post pass from Gabriel Jesus, and which helped Martinelli to tap in. The fourth goal was a very nice goal, very similar to the second goal. It was another pull out from Noni Madueke, and it was another goal from Martinelli, which completed his hat trick. Now, this guy, even during the game, Martinelli, he was facing boos. Portsmouth fans were booing him, and you wonder why Portsmouth was booing him, because what's their business with him? He never played when Portsmouth was in the EPL, so what's their problem? You could only think of the issue with Conor Bradley against Liverpool. What is Portsmouth's business with that game? I don't know. So I thought that booing was very unnecessary, but somehow it kind of gingered him. It kind of made him raise his game. It kind of gave him the courage. And in fact, this game, he could have scored even more than that, 3. He could have easily scored 5. Easily scored 5. But we're fine. This is his first hat trick. Like I said earlier, the booing galvanized him. It made him better. Overall, apart from we losing possession for Portsmouth's first goal, I thought the team played really, really well. Merino in that position, which I was very worried about. Merino was supreme in that position. If not the fact that Martinelli scored a hat trick, I think Merino would have been my man of the match by miles. He was so good, recovering the balls, spreading the balls around, creating chances. There was even a chance he created for Martinelli, in which Martinelli missed. It was, this guy, like I said, he was so good. He was the captain of the day. I found out all too because Gabriel Megalis was there. But anybody can be captain, that's fine. I don't care. What I care for now is the W's, is the wins. So this brings us to our question for the day. Should Martinelli be considered as a centre forward? Should he be played as a centre forward? Question mark, question mark, question mark. He has played as a centre forward in the past. There were 2 games in the past, I think, when he just arrived, during the period he just arrived. I think 2020 or 2021. I'm not going to forget the goal against Chelsea. In that game, he came in for Aubameyang, and he was played in as a striker. And of course, we remember how he scored that goal, got the ball from our own half, ran, beat all his men with N'Golo Kante slipping, and him, driving past him and, sliding that ball off of the keeper and scoring. It was a beautiful goal. He plays as a striker in that game. There was 1 or 2 other games he played as a striker. One of them he scored. We're not going to forget the Carabao run of games in 2020-2021 season, he was being played as a striker, and he scored loads of goals that period for us. We're not going to forget the game against Liverpool in that Carabao Cup. He scored one of the goals in that 5-5 thriller. Now, he has been, he is a player I like very, very much. And I think he can thrive in the center forward role, but not in the EPL. Not in the EPL. And I'll tell you why. Yes, I can hear some people saying, oh, last season he played as a center forward against Liverpool. He equalized, he scored one of the goals in the 2-2 draw at Liverpool last season at Anfield. He scored one of the goals, a headed goal, which was really good, you know. But at the long run, I don't think he will be an appropriate center forward, especially in the English Premier League. The English Premier League is a very robust league. Martinelli is not the biggest, he's not the bulkiest. Imagine if Martinelli was being marked by Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate. It would be a mismatch. You know, he's not going to be appropriate for that kind of matchups. And almost all defenders in the EPL are built like that. They are robust, they're big, they're bullies, they're rough, you know. So I don't think it will favor him that much. The only thing I can say is from the left side, he should be cutting into the middle. He should be inverting into the middle. That I can agree on. But to be a constant center forward, I don't think it's going to work. I've been reading some people talking about him being in that center forward position and leaving him there permanently. You know, I don't think it will work for us. But maybe for certain games, yes. Maybe for certain competitions, yes. Like the Carabao Cup, maybe some FA Cup games, yes. But not give him a long run of games in the EPL. The EPL, Jesus Christ, you have to be strong. You have to be bulky. You have to be, you know, you have to have that stamina. You have to be up for the challenges. You have to, you know, the only person I can make a case for about that is probably Bukayo Saka. He has a skill. He's strong. He doesn't look very big, but he is very strong. You know, Martinelli is not as stable as Saka, so I don't think he will thrive there. And, you know, even in the left wing back, Martinelli does okay there. The only thing Martinelli doesn't like in the left wing is low blocks. That is his Achilles heel. He cannot thrive in those low blocks situations. That he cannot. You know, like I said, the only way is for him to join the center forward position when we're in transition, when we are attacking. He can do that. I think he can do that. He already has very good movement of the ball. He already has the pace. He already has very good shooting ability. Both legs are really, really good. He already has the pace. He has everything. You know, he has good footballing brain, you know. And, you know, but there's still one or two things to be worked on, especially when he plays on the left. If he's being marked by a very pacey full back, he always runs into problems. If he cannot outrun you, he always has that problem. So he has to learn how to cut. Sometimes don't run at people, just pull out, which he has started doing. I must say his game this season has been a massive, massive improvement. Last season, he flattered to deceive a lot. He was horrible last season. Everybody was calling for him to be sold at the beginning of this season. Everybody was like, oh, you got to sell Martinelli. I was one of the people that said, no, we can't sell this guy. This guy's still a weapon. He just needs to be well coached. He needs to be coached. He needs to be coached properly. You know, people like, he is very similar to Noni Madueke. Madueke also has the same problem that Martinelli has. But Noni Madueke's problem essentially is his end product. His end product is horrible. His end product has to be improved on. He has the luxury of using both legs as well. But his end product, he makes those runs, he beats his man with ease. But his pullouts or his shot towards the goal are usually very disastrous. Those are the things he needs to work on. Those are the things the coaching crew needs to coach into them. Martinelli is going to be a weapon for us. I don't think we should sell him ever. But we even had some rumor that he wants to leave at the end of the season. There was a rumor that Liverpool wanted to get him and assure him of regular playing time this January window. We heard that. But he declined, said he wasn't going to play for Liverpool. But we heard things like this. But like I said earlier, there's a rumor that he's told his representatives to get him a move away from Arsenal in the summer. And also we heard Barcelona is actually watching his situation, and they are another club that could want to take him on, especially if Marcus Rashford doesn't remain at Barcelona next season. I wouldn't want Martinelli to leave. I love Martinelli. I know he's made some errors, but I'm okay with him. He is our highest goal scorer in all competition this season. He's got 10 goals. He's the first to hit double digits before our own strikers, before our own dear Victor Gyökeres. Gyökeres, you should be ashamed of yourself. This is unacceptable. You got to up your game. You've played as many games as Gabriel Martinelli, if not more. Martinelli hardly even starts. He comes from the bench, does his thing. Next game, he's benched again and does his thing. So, Victor Gyökeres needs to step up. I've always been talking about this. He needs to learn. He needs to learn how to play with the players he has. He needs to learn how to read his teammates. If Odegaard has the ball, he has to know when to make the run. He has to know where to go. If Saka has the ball, he has to know where to go to get to the ball when it's squared in or when it's passed. Or, he has to up his game. There's no longer excuses for Victor Gyökeres. If the wingers are scoring more than the striker, and you can even make a case that Victor Gyökeres doesn't even have a single assist this season. His goal record this season is pathetic. He doesn't have a single assist. He doesn't have a single assist. That is atrocious. That is nothing short of embarrassing. He needs to step up at this point now. This is the point where we need him. If it's not gonna operate properly, Havertz is knocking. Havertz came on yesterday. He knocked on the door. He did some very good things yesterday. Nothing major, but the simple things he did them with ease. Things that take Gyökeres, so much stress to do. Havertz did them with relative ease. So, what do you guys think? Should Martinelli start, at least on the left side, against Chelsea on Wednesday? We have a cracking game on Wednesday. I know it's a Carabao Cup semi-final, but it's against Chelsea. When we're playing Chelsea, no game is too small. No game is a friendly. This is two teams, two fan bases that hate themselves. I hate them. I'm sorry if you're a Chelsea fan, but I hate Chelsea. And I'm sure they hate Arsenal too, you know. So there's no love lost, So this is a game where we need everybody in form. I think Martinelli should start this game and rest Trossard. I don't think Trossard in recent games, I know he's scored one or two goals here and there, but I've not really been impressed with him. I think he dwells on the ball too much. He should learn to be fast. I think Martinelli should start this game. You don't score a hat trick and remain on the bench. And it's not really a drop off from Trossard. They are two different players. One is pacey, one is just more technical. I don't think it's a big drop off. I think Martinelli can be used as a weapon. And equally, Trossard can come in from the bench and do something. We've seen him do that. He can come in from the bench and, impact the game positively for us. I think we should start him. And I will also start Gabriel Jesus in this game. Gabriel Jesus and Martinelli, we know they work so well together. We know they combine very well. Their combination play is always very good. It's telepathic. Gabriel Jesus knows where Martinelli is. Martinelli knows where Gabriel Jesus is most of the time. I don't think Madueke should start against Chelsea. I think we should still leave it with Saka. Then Eze, people like Eze can come on later, but you have to start. Like I said, this game is a game we have to start heavy. We must make sure we get a result at Stamford Bridge heading into the second leg. This is a cup that is very realistic. This is a cup we can win. It's a very important cup to win because we win it. It's always the first trophy in the season. That will galvanize the team. That will, reinstate some belief in the team and let the team know they can go ahead and win bigger things. But remember, this is a cup we hadn't won since 1993. That is horrible. So this is a game we should take very seriously. I don't know what lineup Chelsea is going to play, but this is a game we should make sure we win. The destroyer is not going to play. What's his name? The guy that breaks legs and receives red cards here and there. Moises Caicedo is not going to play. I don't think Cucurella will play this because he got a red card against Fulham. I'm thinking he will miss this game due to suspension. So this is our opportunity to take this game. If we can find a way to win at Stamford Bridge, we have a super chance of getting to the final. So like I said, do you think Martinelli should start this game? Do you think Martinelli should start being deployed in the center forward role? I don't think so about that, but I think he should start. You tell me what you think in the comment section. And that will be all for now. Until next time, it is goodbye and God bless.